Welcome back to another episode of the Be Who You Came to Be podcast. I'm your host, Tara Renze. I got a fun little snappy episode today where we're going to be debunking toxic positivity hustle quotes. You know, the quotes that you read them and instead of them inspiring you, you feel like you're not doing anything right. And just so you know, I don't really think that there's anyone out there fully living by these quotes if they're actually living by these quotes, because all they're doing is working and hustling and grinding. And we got to have shifts. So we're going to be debunking these quotes today. I've got a few lined up for you. It's going to be a pretty short episode, just to remind you that you are enough and that you are not defined by a quote on a sweatshirt or something that you're reading on the internet that's making you feel small and not enough. We've really got to break the chains of feeling like need to be hustling constantly, that we should be grinding, that we should be exhausted all the time, that the work is never done. That culture is really shifting into the background of so many people's lives. I know for me, for the longest time, I loved, quotes like, "The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately." The dream is free and the hustle is sold separately, but there's also a lot of love and intention that's sold separately, and lifestyle and friendships and family and our children and our marriages and our relationships and all of those things. I've seen people, hustle so hard that they've hustled themselves out of a fulfilling life with friends and family and kids because they just work. And it's not the life. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the life. There's all these studies done about at the end of people's lives, like what do they wish they would have done more of? And it's always, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have taken the trip. I wish I would have called my mom more. I wish I would have, put more energy into that relationship. I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. I wish I wouldn't have put all of my eggs in the hustle basket thinking that I had to achieve. There's so much more to life than achievement from a career standpoint. So we're going to be debunking all of these today. I've got a lineup of them for you. But in the meantime, I have to welcome someone new to the Be Who You Came to Be podcast team, my son, Ben Renze. Ben, welcome to the team. Ben is our summer intern, and he is learning all about podcasting, how to produce them, how to make the clips. Hopefully, he's just going to get us to go completely viral on TikTok and Instagram and all the places where he hangs and knows what's happening. But I have to tell you, my podcast producer, Zoe, is absolutely amazing. And I was so excited when she agreed to onboard him, train him, and teach him all of her amazing ways. The other cool thing that they're going to be doing once they get this going is actually adding clients to their roster. So if you have ever thought about producing a podcast, or you're curious about it, or you're interested in it, I've got a team for you. I'm an abundance type of person. The more podcasts, the better. Find your people, find your raving fans. So if that's something that you're curious at all, just email me, contact@tararenze.com, or you can email me, Tara@tararenze. Now the cat's out of the bag. That's my email address. Shocking, isn't it? So secretive. Just email me and I would love to connect you with them. I'm really excited about that team and what they're up to and what they're doing. Okay, let's dive into this episode, debunking all of the toxic quotes that are out there. And there's so many of them. There are so many of them. We're going to be calling this episode Burnout Wrapped in a Bow. 7 quotes that are a total bullshit. We're going to calling it like we see it. Hey, by the way, I did my Tuesday tip email was on one of my favorite bullshit quotes this week. If you're not getting my Tuesday tips, you do want them. Trust me, tararenze.com/sign up. You can get a weekly emotional intelligence tip from me. They're tips. They're not sales. They're not salesy. They're truly tips on how to apply EQ to your life, ways that you can incorporate it so that it's not just a concept. So many times people are like, oh yeah, emotional intelligence, but it's a concept that they don't actually know how to apply. So it's not a tool. It just stays as this concept, but they don't know how to use it. So my goal is that every week you get this tip, and it's something that you can apply instantly into your life that's going to help you elevate your self-regard, self-awareness, your impulse control, your relatability factor, your interpersonal relationships, your reality testing, all of those things. They're short, they're fun. Get on the list, tararenze.com/, oh my gosh, I cannot say it today, / sign up. Okay, first quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. Oh my gosh, come on. How you do anything is how you do everything. Now, I would say that if we didn't have to do adult things like, laundry, house cleaning, just folding clothes, that's mine. It's my weakness. I suck at it. So if you're going to judge me, if you think how I do my laundry is how I do everything in my life, you are sorely mistaken. Here's the thing. I'm really good at putting the laundry in. I'm really good at drying the laundry. I'm really good at laying flat everything that needs to be laid flat. And then oftentimes, the laundry sits. Does this mean that I have no follow through in life, that I start tasks and never finish them, that if you hire me, I'm going to flake on you and not finish the job? Absolutely not. This is one of those quotes that, although it's got the right intention, it just doesn't follow through, and it just doesn't follow real adulting life. It's like, I love cooking for my kids. Like I cook, I always clean up the kitchen. It's not like, and I love cooking and then I never clean up. But do you know why? Because I like being in the kitchen. There's so much joy for me in cooking and feeding my family. And then I love the cleanup and I like to sit in there afterwards. I get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of that. I don't get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of doing laundry. But I know some of you don't like cooking. And that would sound dreadful if you had to cook every night and do that. I don't love baking. I actually will hire someone for cookies. I'll go buy desserts because I don't like baking desserts. Does that mean that I outsource everything? No. There's these fit all quotes don't do anyone any good. So here's the thing. You don't have to do everything at a 10. So sometimes you just have to finish the task. Sometimes you just have to eventually get it done. My laundry eventually gets put away. Usually it gets put away when I'm like, okay, it's time to just stop digging through this laundry basket and go ahead and put it away when I have time to do it. You think about your life, run a couple of audits of like, hey, where are things that I wish, I did more of, or that this quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. Like what would fall in to a trap that would make you feel bad about yourself? And then decide if you want to keep it the way it is, or if you're okay with it, or if you want to change it. That's up to you. But I'm going to tell you right now, how you do anything is not how you do everything. It's just not the way life is. And, that would be like saying to an Olympic athlete, like, if you're not running full speed sprint every day, then that's not how you're doing everything. Like sometimes we really show up. Sometimes we go the extra mile. Sometimes we hustle hard. Sometimes we make sure that every T is crossed and I is dotted 25 times because those are the things that matter most. We have to be intentional with that. So go ahead and release that one. Okay. Quote number 1, released, goodbye. Here's the other one. Live like others won't so you can live like others can't. It's something like do what other people won't do for 2 years so that you can live like they can't for the rest of their life. That is the poster child for hustle culture quote. Sacrifice today, grind today, rest later. But what if later never comes? What if in those 1 to 2 years of grinding and hustling, you ruin your relationships? You create division amongst your friends. It costs you your health, your joy, your fulfillment, your happiness. And then once you're done grinding, nothing's left for you to come back to. Like, you don't have to live life like that. You can build success on your terms by, again, being intentional with what you do. And I don't know about you, but I can't imagine 2 years of my life hustling and grinding without the things that matter most to me, which is my husband, my kids, my family. I will tell you that I really used to subscribe to hustle culture. Now, when that changed for me, in total transparency, was after I had kids. Because kids will slow you down. They will, you know, they will show you what time looks like and how you can spend your time. It's not like you can just, park them in front of the TV and go hustle. Like, it's just not the way it works. So it really made me reevaluate how I was living my life. And I will tell you that I really struggled those first years after having kids of feeling like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't hustling hard enough. I wasn't putting it all in versus just enjoying the life, the playing on the floor, the nap times, the slow mornings. I just felt like I had to hustle, grind versus like, hey, what if I just lived my life and enjoyed these kids? I'm going to tell you something that actually it's kind of sad. For Mother's Day last year, I asked Scott if he would take all of our videos from when the boys were under the age of 5. We didn't have iPhones then. So yes, I'm that old. So I said, hey, could you go and just get all of those videos off and put them into a drive so I can watch them? Like, was I a good mom? Was I around? Was I engaged? Did I have I couldn't remember, honestly, because it was such a blur. And I was so hard on myself because I felt like, my career was up in the air and I wasn't hustling hard enough. And then did I really enjoy it? And it was so amazing to actually watch these videos and see me playing with the boys, on the floor with the boys, being silly with the boys, snuggling and all those things. And man, I am so grateful that I rewired my thinking on that. And then after I lost my dad, I really rewired my thinking on hustle and what it meant and like where I was spending my time. Okay, we diverted a little bit. We were still talking about hustle, but we got away from the quotes. Okay, so you don't have to live your life without the people you love for 2 years to find success. Like, that's not what it's all about. Like, prioritize your health, prioritize your relationships, take care of your relationships, take care of yourself. And success shouldn't cost you your sanity or your marriage or your relationship with your kids. Wow. Okay, quote number 3, rise and grind. Get your ass out of bed and get to work immediately. Okay, no, we're not doing rising and grinding anymore. We're not. If there's a whole thing of like, get up a little earlier and go slow. There is really nothing I love more than waking up slow. Waking up on my own clock, which for me, I would normally wake up around like 7 or 7:30, sometimes 8, depends. Like sometimes I'm just tired. When I grind and I go, like when I'm traveling for work, I come home and I have nothing in the tank. Like there is definitely not going to be any rising and grinding. Now, when I'm out for a keynote on the road, I rise and I start grinding. Like I'm immediately up. I'm going to go get on the treadmill. I'm going to get some coffee. I'm thinking about work and all this stuff. But man, you don't have to rise and grind every single day. What about this? Rise and align. Rise and align. We should get a coffee cup with this made on it. What do you think? Rise and align. Be who you came to be. Rise and align. Figure out who you are today and who you're going to be. You do not have to hustle and grind every day. You just don't. Sometimes you get to rise and lay in bed and think about some stuff and then say your prayers and then maybe, get your dog and snuggle your dog for a little bit. Maybe if someone else is in the house, they could even bring you a cup of coffee and you could have coffee in bed. How amazing does that sound? Yeah, pretty amazing. I have a great husband. Sometimes he does that for me and I love it. I love it. Are you trying to reach your protein goals without the heavy, chalky, yucky, milky protein shakes? Well, guess what? I have something just for you. Meet my new favorite protein, Clear Protein Plus. This is the protein that thinks it's a lemonade. This protein gives you 20 grams of pure protein, 0 sugar, and just 90 calories. I love it. It's delicious. It keeps me feeling energized, full, and there is 0 bloat. And you guys, I got to tell you, this is personal. I have known Casey with My Ultimate Edge my entire life. Yes, we grew up in that small town in Kansas together. I trust her. I have used her products for years, and I have seen real results. You guys have to go check out My Ultimate Edge. It is your full body wellness solution, from gut health to hormones to weight loss to protein to energy, and even a new NAD powered sleep routine. I promise you're going to love it as much as I do. Check out the show notes for a link to the Clear Protein Plus, as well as all the other products that I love. Quote number 4, speaking of being in bed, you can sleep when you're dead. I've actually seen hustle sweatshirts that say you can sleep when you're dead. This makes no sense. It is literally the dumbest quote ever. You can sleep when you're dead. You guys, I think we all know how much better we do when we are rested. I always say this. When the body is rested and the body feels good, the mind has a shot, has a chance at doing good. When you're tired, when you're depleted, the mind will send you down some really shitty rabbit holes of self-doubt, of feeling like you're not enough, of, questioning everything in your life. I had this last week. I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted after speaking and working, and I was low, and my mind just started going down all these rabbit holes. Now, my mental fitness and my emotional intelligence was like, hey, these are thoughts. These are not your truth. Tara, you are so tired right now. Now is not the time to be making these assumptions. Like, it is actually not a truth. And I was able to make sure that I was wiring myself correctly. If you are not sleeping, you will burn out. Your body will physically shut down, 1. You won't be doing your best work, 2. Your creativity will go down the tubes because your body isn't rested enough. And your mental well-being will crash and burn. It really will. You just can't do it. I've talked to so many people who literally have thought they've just hustled themselves to where they're not sleeping. They're up, I only need 3 hours of sleep a night. That's bullshit. You need more than that. Your body needs more than that. And it's just, you've gotten it so wired up that you are unable to rest. Like, you have to rest. If your body is rested and feels good, your mind, your productivity, your creativity, you can actually be who you came to be. So we're trashing that one as well. Okay, here's another one. You guys, you know this one. I talk about this one all the time. Good vibes only. Now, in total transparency, I used to have a good vibes only sweatshirt. I also used to have a choose happy sweatshirt. They sound really good. I mean, who doesn't want good vibes? Who doesn't want to choose happy every day? But it's wildly emotionally unintelligent to think that you could have good vibes only. What are you, like a freaking sorcerer, and you just someone shoots a bad vibe at you and you just pew, pew, pew? No, it just is not the way it works. Real life, we all have emotions. This is basically saying, dear Lord, could you please just only give me one emotion, which is happiness, because I don't want to have to deal with anything else. It's not the human experience. You're wired with 7 emotions. They all interact, and they're the data that shows you what's important, what's working in your life, what's not working in your life. Yes, we all want happiness. We all want success. We all want good vibes, but we learn where to go to genuinely get those, not to manufacture them. So as much as you want good vibes only, as much as you want to choose happy, it does not make sense. So what would you guys know what I'd say? We'd say, live fulfilled. Fulfilled vibes only. Fulfilled life only. Fulfilled living is what I'm here for. You're allowed to feel heavy. You're allowed to feel sad. You're allowed to feel mad. And here's the thing. When you project only wanting good vibes or happiness in your life, when you're having a bad day, you think something's wrong with you. When you're grieving, you think, why is this happening to me? It's all part of the human experience. And we have to learn how to process and navigate our emotions so that we can show up as the best version of us. And that's not going to mean that you're going to be happy all the time. I wish that I had the good vibes only magic potion, but I don't. And let's face it, I really don't think anyone would want it, because it wouldn't be what living is all about. It wouldn't be what we're here for, which is the hard stuff and working through things and feeling all the things. I always say, I think about grief. We've talked about grief on the podcast of it's like good grief. It hurts so bad, but it's all because of love. And that would be like saying, I don't want this grief, so I wish I would have never had that person in my life. That's just not the way it works. You are so grateful for every minute that you had for them, and then your heart hurts now that they're not here anymore. Sometimes sadness is beautiful. Sometimes, we learn the hard way, and that's how we become resilient. And we actually create those epic moments of happiness and success built on doing things that are fulfilling. Positive vibes only. Goodbye. What about this one? Be the hardest worker in the room. No. I mean, I feel like being the hardest worker in the room screams insecurity. What are you going to do? Outwork everyone? Like, what are you actually doing with your time? Like, where are you making an impact? Just because you're working hard doesn't mean you're making an impact, right? Just because you're showing up and out hustling doesn't really mean that you're doing all the right things. You also might then be the most exhausted person in the room. How about be the most intentional worker in the room? Not the hardest worker, the most intentional, the most aligned worker in the room. You're the leader in the room. You know where to push. You know where to pull. You know where to get other people to work and to throw their gifts and talents into the work basket at the office. You don't have to be the hardest worker in the room. You have to be the most aligned, the most intentional. What if you were the most inspirational person in the room? What if you were that person who gave other people confidence and the ability to bring their gifts and talents, that you don't have to outwork everyone because you're actually going to get people to show up as the best selves, as the best leader in the room. Yeah, be the hardest worker. Bye-bye. It screams insecurity. Fake it till you make it. This is one that it's like, I get it. I get the concept of this quote, fake it till you make it. It sounds harmless, right? But it teaches us that to not enjoy the journey, to not love where we're at in the messy, in the creative, and while we're figuring it all out, there is nothing wrong with learning. There is nothing wrong with starting new. There is nothing wrong with saying, oh my gosh, someone asks you a question and you say, that is a great question. And you know what? I actually don't know the answer. I'm still learning. I cannot wait to find out and get back to you. People love honesty versus coming up with some bullshit answer because you're faking it and you don't actually know. It's okay to be a learner. There's really nothing that I love more than going to a restaurant when I have one of those new servers and they're like, hey, it's my first day. And I'm like, you're at the right table because we're here to help you learn. And welcome to your first day. We're here to be patient. You're safe with us. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake it till you make it. You are a work in progress. And I don't even know what that actually means. Fake it till you're dead. Because being who you came to be means that you're never going to arrive. You're never going to reach the spot in your life and then have it all figured out. And then you don't have to fake it anymore. You just keep coasting till the end. You're always going to be making it. You're always going to be up leveling and new. I remember when I was writing my book, I was in the messy middle and I was writing my book. I was writing a lot of content and my life coach, Heather, first episode, by the way, if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. She said, enjoy this time. Enjoy this journey. She's like, I know that you want to have it created. You want to have it done. She's like, but man, there's a lot of beauty in where you're at right now and just enjoy that. And I thought, oh my gosh, thank you for that. And it gave me that permission slip to just not feel like I had to fake it, but to try out stuff and see if it was working and if it wasn't working and what resonated and what didn't resonate. And it's fun to look back and see how far I've come. And then it's crazy to think about where I'm going to be. So you don't have to fake it. Okay. You don't have to fake it. You can just be it. You can be you. You can be you. Messy, raw, real, authentic, perfectly flawed you. Okay. That's it. Those are the quotes. Those are the bullshit hustle quotes that I just had to debunk because we see them and it makes us feel small. It makes us feel like we're a failure because we're not doing enough. We're not hustling enough. We're not working hard enough. We're not where we should be. We're not, I used to ask this question. I haven't done this for a while. I did these life graphs for people where it would show them their entire life and the highs and lows, and it was really interesting to do. It's in my workbook actually, where you track back basically from the age 10. And when things were really good and when they were low and why. And then we do kind of a fulfillment inventory of hey, even at this low time of your life, did you still have fulfillment? And the answer is yes. You can be going through the hardest shit in your life and you're not happy, but you're fulfilled. So that's one of the things that we did. And a lot of times what would come up of these was comparison of feeling well, I wasn't feeling like I was enough. Then I was watching everyone else succeed. I thought that things would be different. And they would say, I just thought I would be in a different spot than I am now. The person I compare myself to most is who I thought I would be. And that breaks my heart. And that is hustle culture at its worst, is that we feel like we haven't hustled, we haven't worked hard enough, we should be at a different spot in our life, rather than just owning our journey every day. The messy middle, the figuring it out, the being who we came to be. Don't let these one-liners, these quotes determine your worth. Like, it's just not the life worth living. And I guarantee you, if you went back and asked people at the end of your life, be like, do you wish you would have rise and grinded more? No. They would say, no, I wish I wouldn't have rise and grinded more. I wish I would have stayed in bed with my loved ones and sat around and had coffee and asked my grandparents more questions when they were around, like all the life things, okay? So let's stop letting one-liners determine our worth. Let's release the hustle culture. If you have a positive vibes only shirt, you can still wear it. But I just want you to know that if you have a bad day, it's okay. It's okay. So that's how we lead with confidence. It's how we live with impact. And that's how we can be who we came to be. You guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We've got more episodes lined up for you. A book launch happening very soon. So many other good things. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Live unapologetically authentic to exactly who you are, who you came to be. Keep shining your light. You are enough. And I'm so grateful that you're on this journey with me. Bye-bye.